Welcome to late night coffee talk with Tracy. Right, Tracy? What's going on?
Not too much. How's it going?
Pretty good. You going to talk paranormal?
We are going to talk paranormal, all
Okay,
things
well,
paranormal.
awesome. Here's the intro. Come on. Yeah, ask Warren what he thinks of that jazzy intro there, right there. But yeah, it's going to have some more spooky talk. Halloween's coming up, so this is going to be fun. I will give it to you, and I will bring in Warren, and you guys take it away, and I'll jump in whenever I want, whatever, you know. So,
Sounds perfect.
hey, Warren, how you doing, bud?
Hey, good. How are you, Dino?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to jump off and leave it to you and Tracy to.
Okay, we'll hang out here.
We got some pictures.
Hi, everybody.
The videos will be ready. They're almost uploaded, so good to go.
Awesome.
Right.
Thanks. So we'll just maybe say a couple of shout outs here to some of the people. I mean, there's lots of people here. Holy macaroni and cheese. We've got Dean Barker. We've got Derby Girl. We've got Roger and Vicky and Dave. CM is here. Mark M is here. Oh, and Head of the Late Late Horror Show is here too. That's awesome. Harry's got it. Connie Cleary. Can't forget about you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, everything. So
wow.
Oh, Black Roses is here too. So yeah, we've got so many great people here, and I think I saw Rich Cat Ranch earlier. Wow. So yeah, I think
Connie says Warren. Sorry, I'm just reading. It's great.
Oh, it's awesome. Oh, and Frank McLeod is here. Oh, this is wonderful. It's so great to see everybody. Hopefully,
Dave doesn't like my clown already.
Oh, Dave, he'll be talking about that clown. It's from 1963.
Well, now I think we have to have a close-up picture of that clown, and I'll send a picture, a screenshot to Dave so he can dream about it this evening.
Here, this'll help him.
Okay, that's really too creepy for me. Yes,
no, he's all right.
Yeah. So, do you want to maybe chat about that clown? We kind of touched on it last time that you were here. So,
this came. Yeah, we talked about it just for a second last time. That's why I kind of put him up. I got him from Dale's in Amherst. We had done a investigation there, and at the end of the night, one of the girls who was taking us through, she kind of said, "Look, I got something for you." So she gave me this. She really was keen on getting rid of it. She suggested I burn it. I was like, "No way." So I brought it home, and we have an agreement. We get along. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, he's a 1963 Bozo the Clown replica toy. I've done all kinds of stuff like this and, investigation stuff, and it's turned up absolutely zero kind of activity of any sort. I'm really not too worried, but he sure looks creepy.
He does.
Yeah, he's a wonderful little guy. And yeah, he creeps some people out, but it's really just Bozo. And I love it. 63. It's an old toy, and the old voice is the extra creep factor. So.
Oh, absolutely. He's very vintage. Did the lady at Dale's, did she have any problems with that? Or did she?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She said she had all kinds of problems with it, that it would just really stress her out and just do stuff. And it would always seem to be just the clown. And but I didn't want to talk about it much other than that. Just kind of insisted that I take it and really do what I needed to dispose of it. And I was like, no, why would I do that? It's cool.
Absolutely.
60 years old. Yes. Wow. That's what someone says. Don't put that under my bed. I'll try not to. Oh my God. Sounds like my ex. Okay. Well, anyway, no, he's harmless. He won't hurt anyone.
Oh, that's so cute. Well, no, actually, it's really not cute. I'm sorry. It is creepy.
No, I have
cute.
Yeah. No, I have him because he's creepy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cute was an odd word. I mean, he looks kind of lovable, right? Right, Warren?
Oh yeah, no, he's got that big red nose on him. he's had a couple, tipped a few back, and he's kind of there hanging out. But
yeah, look at the legs. Now the legs look creepy, just paralyzed there and falling off the piano. Anyway.
Yeah, no worries. No, I've actually purposely laid him against transformers, give him EMF. I've put his feet up and asked him to move them, and he's just always sort of the same, very, very calm, and just sits there. So,
oh gosh, well, that's
not too worried.
As long as he stays quiet and he doesn't look in my direction, I think I'll be okay for the rest of the night. So I'm okay with that. So I actually have a Ouija board here. This is my personal one. I've actually never used it before. I kind of have a little bit of hesitation when it comes to using Ouija boards, but I have used one in the past at a couple of different locations, Lewisburg, the Truro Museum, and a couple of other places. And the board that I had used was considered a very haunted board, I guess we shall say, a haunted board. This was Earl's board, and I believe he still has it. And it's kind of like really creepy, and it has a lot of negative, dark energy. And you've had some experience with this board too, Warren. Did you want to talk about that just a little bit before we get to some of the things we've got in the hopper here?
Okay, well, Ouija boards. Well, yes, I know that particular board well. Ouija boards are a hot topic because it's one of those things that they scare the heck right out of people, and rightly so. As opposed to some of these instruments that pick up fields and register them electronic, a Ouija board is basically one of many similar symbolic ways to channel and just allow yourself to open and to communications or what have you, and open to whatever can happen. So a lot of people don't like that, and assuming that some things can take on energy. Again, we mentioned that stone tape stuff last week, and things vibrating and all that stuff. It stands to reason that perhaps a board can become possessed, cursed, as they say, or whatever. Who knows? But all I know is that this particular board is crazy. Now, I don't use them myself. I don't like them. I'm susceptible to that stuff. When I was younger, I used to use them. I was never allowed to have one, so I used to make my own every night, and then like seriously on a piece of paper, make a little paper planchette, and I'd do it, and then I'd have to get rid of it, right? Yeah, it was weird, and I had some strange experiences with it, but then I kind of stopped using them. But I was doing some work on something, and I wanted to take some pictures and some videos of a Ouija board, and because it is a divining tool, it is a communication tool used by many paranormal investigators. If I'm not one of them, a lot of them are, I'm just reading the thing here. Oh, paper Ouija boards could be $1 million idea. There you go. Let's DM me, buddy. Let's do it. Got a printer?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, right? A book of origami.
Dino's in.
I mean, it's like origami. You make your Ouija board up. Yes. Anyway, sorry to interrupt there. Yeah, fun.
No, that's good. I agree. We're onto something here. We get some. I see. Don't open something you can't close. Well, of course, exactly. That's sort of the thing. When you're using a Ouija board, you're potentially opening something that you don't know anything about. So, probably not a good idea. That being said, if a lot of people have been using them quite successfully, and you can open and close the session, you always got to remember to close the session and that. But you take that stuff seriously, right? But anyhow, that particular board, I borrowed it and took some pictures of that. But right from the get-go, it's just like as soon as you hold the box, it just kind of doesn't physically buzz, but darn, it feels like it. It's weird. Right. And so I put this board down, and I'm still a little. There's very few things that weird me out. I'm pretty scientific, but this board was just giving me the creepies in the back of my neck the whole time. And so I was sitting there, and at one point I walked by it, and I felt a pinch on my side. I'm like, oh man, what the heck? That thing attacked me or something? And I was like, no, it's just wicked. It's just weird. My imagination going crazy. So I left it at that. And then I went down. I'm watching TV in the other room, and I swear I just felt a sense of a distortion or something rush me, and it just like freaked me out with a bizarre emotion. And the first thought I had was right to the board, and I was like, what the heck? So I go and I said, I took a REM pod, which I have, which is an EMF detector. Right. I put it on the board, and it's just sitting there. And then I go back to watch television. And this is on a wooden table. I know to make sure there's no stray EMF fields and all that. It's just sitting there inert with a REM pod on it, and the thing starts howling when I'm watching TV just after it attacked me. The REM pod's going off, and I'm just like, whoa. So that's bizarre, and it kind of stopped, and everything was weird. And I said, well, there it is. I have Earl loaned me a haunted Ouija board, so I'm like, I wrote him a note, and I said, what's up with that board, man? And he goes, well, so he told me a story. He got it online. He collects them, right? And apparently he got it online, and when he met the person, he won it on a bid. It was like going to be $40 or something, $20 or something ridiculous. Right. And he shows up to pick it up, and apparently this is what he tells me: is he goes to give her the money, and she's like, "Don't worry about it. Just guarantee it. He won't bring it back." And then she threw it in his back window in the car, and he drove off. That's the story he gave me for the board. I don't know. I remember. Either way. Either way, it's it's like, wow, okay, well, perhaps I have a cursed board here. So I kind of put it off until it happened again a few days later, and then I put the REM pod on again, and it was setting off the EMF or whatever, and of course I didn't use this board. I didn't use it at all. But so it was, it was just there. So it had lit off the REM pod again, and I was going, okay, this isn't cool. So I kind of had a talk with the board. I said, look, I get it, but, we're not going to have a problem here, and you're not home. Don't worry. I'll get you back to Earl right away. And I said, well, you got to stay settled. And so I covered it with a towel and just left it, and it stayed there for quite a few number of weeks quiet until a buddy of mine was over, and he was there talking, and we were shooting a music video in the same room, and this board was over in the corner under a towel, and I said, oh, hey, man, you should check this out. So I go and I show him the board. I'm like, look, this thing's dank, and I lifted it up, and I'm like, see this thing? It's just like, it's one of the craziest boards that I've ever seen. It's like, it's nuts. And then so I put the cover down, and literally as I put the cover down, we had special lighting on for the shoot of the video, but there was a ceiling light with a physical switch wall, and honest to God, boom, it goes on as soon as I close the box on its own. He screamed like a little kid, and I was like, okay. And Rhonda just yells immediately at the board, get back in the box. So anyway, that being said, I covered it up again and sort of gave it another kind of little chat. I said, look, man, it's the board. I don't know what else you're supposed to do. So, just not fall into it and get scared by it, because I believe it would probably prey on the fear and prey on the negativity. So that's why when I go, get out, I go, hey there, how you doing? Don't prey on my negativity.
That's right. Don't the board.
Right. Don't anger the board. Befriend the board, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I brought him back to Earl. I swear it was a stressful car ride knowing that thing was in the trunk. I just don't like having it around. It would just really ring all the time in my senses, like the spidey senses tingling kind of business. Wow. So it was wild. And then when I brought it back to him, it was actually, we were doing an investigation, and I showed up and I returned it, and one of the other investigators there, checks it out, and she's like, oh man, this thing's shaking. Saying the same thing I was saying. So like, yeah, have fun with that. So, and then for whatever reason, Earl just kept bringing it around to places. So I don't know. That's hilarious. But I saw it in operation at the Historium there.
Yes.
And that was very strange. That was a strange thing, because it was I'm not big into this whole things like the Zozo and stuff like that, Ouija board. But honest to goodness, it was doing that business for these people. They had no idea. And I was just going, okay, maybe we should stop this, and we kind of stopped the session. It was not cool. But other than that, I don't know. I don't like Ouija boards myself. I appreciate them. I know what they are, but I won't use them now just because it's just too personal. It's just too personal. That being said, I said I was using dowsing sticks. I suppose it's the same thing, but I'm not talking to people trying to freak me out with those.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm just going to say hi to the Vagrancy Corps. So, hey, Christoph, how are you? Kathy's here. Overkill is here. And I saw RTN. So, RTN is here too. It's great to see everybody. You were talking about that board. So, I've used that board a couple of times. And the audience here, I think mostly everybody that's here has seen the video footage of the board being used in Lewisburg. So it is a scary board. It has really weird energy. I'm not a big fan of Ouija boards at all. And that was actually in Lewisburg was the very first time that I used the board. And I recently used the board back in August. So Earl had the board, and I think he said it was blessed, or there was something that somebody did something for him. So everything was kind of bound, and that was it. And he had packed it away, but he brought it out to the Truro Historium when we were there in August, and he literally cut the binds that it was kind of in its protective mode. He cut those binds and broke out the board, and we actually used it that night. And it was a little hinky, if I could take that from Scooby-Doo. It was kind of creepy. It was moving around, and I was really uncomfortable, to say the least.
No, it's an uncomfortable board, that's for sure. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but I'm glad I don't have to see it. And this one here is pretty gentle. I've never used it.
So it's just at this point it's just a piece of wood. Just because it's a board with ink on it.
Yeah, I love Ouija boards. Bring them on. Anyways,
there you go.
Of course, there's things you need to do to protect yourself, but I love Ouija boards. Hey, you know what? Warren's got some freaky little pictures that we can show anytime you want. That'll get people really scared for Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yes. Well, we'll talk about those still photos I sent you there. We did a residential investigation. We used to do quite a few of them, and we did one in Dartmouth once, and quite a story to it. We've got video for it and stuff, but the pictures were taken from the client's security camera in her room, because she was having some awful, basically being thrown around events while she was sleeping. She had a big history of paranormal stuff, and a lot of stuff happened when we did an investigation there. But she sent me these pictures, and they are legit right from her security camera. They show her sleeping. They show one of the pictures shows this formation of a solid black shadow on the wall. Then another picture shows that shadow moved more towards the window, and it has her leg lifted up. And then after that, you see there's a photograph of her entire body floating above the bed with her head just touching the pillow. It was just crazy. And we did investigate. And when we were there, we had stuff happen in that very area, and we investigated that bed. The bed moved on itself. Yeah, that's her leg. That's the least impressive of the pictures, but that's her leg up in the air, way abnormally high on the end. That's not unusual, but yeah. So there's the second picture that's the second picture, that black shadow in behind, and that's lifting up her leg there. That's going up, and that's a black shadow. One of the other pictures, the shadow see, that's where the shadow is prior as she's sleeping there, and then the shadow in the picture you showed before that is the shadow moved and starting to lift her up. Yeah, see, like that. And then look at the base of the bed too. That's an abnormality at the foot of the bed. That's
Right.
not there. That's not supposed to be there. That's crazy. And
Oh,
there, yeah. So you see, that's her in her bed, wrapped in her blanket, floating above the bed.
oh my gosh. Oh, how weird.
Yes, that's the sheet. That's after the black figure had lifted the leg, and it looks like there's something big standing behind her. That's just her headboard with something on top of it. Don't look at that. But the actual it looks like a big skull guy or something. But no.
Yeah.
But on the thing, her head is.
I think it's Nosferatu.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it looks like Nosferatu to me, but
yeah, but no, it's just the headboard. But no, her head is on the pillow, and the remainder of her body is lifted up, and it's being supported somehow. Who knows? I don't know anybody who can do that. And that's the timestamps on the security camera. They're right in the middle of her sleep, and it's a sequence of events. And then when we investigated, we had crazy stuff happen there. Darcy and I both getting poked, and the bed moving on its own, and it was just ridiculous stories for that investigation.
Oh my gosh. So have you heard anything back from this lady? Has the group heard anything? Whether she's still having experiences?
She was expecting a new child, and she stayed in touch for a couple weeks afterwards, but I believe probably moved, and no idea, just kind of just sort of disappeared. But yeah, it was kind of, poor child. I hope they don't live there anymore. Yeah, I think you're right, Elizabeth. I don't think they do. For the investigation, we actually brought like Earl was there, Darcy, there was myself, Rhonda. We had equipment, and we had a couple of people who were in tune psychically to come too, just to corroborate and see. And it was pretty wild. They were talking about portals and stuff like that, and we were getting readings. And like, for example, just to show you the origin of the whole thing and why I think it was such a storm is I think it was in a place that was active for some reason. But also the tenant herself, when she was young girl, played a game. That game with the mirror, the Mary one there. Played that game and had a crazy. I don't buy into a lot of that stuff, but anyway, it's a belief system, and if you believe it, you never know what can happen. But I mean, she did that, and stuff happened with her mirrors there. Like she had a long life of craziness, but things happening. But something happened to her mirror at that investigation when we were there. It was really nuts. We had a REM pod set up in the baby's room, her previous child, in front of the mirror on the dresser. And when she walked in front of her mirror in the kitchen, it would trigger the REM pod in the bedroom.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Oh, yeah, weird.
Weird.
Oh, yeah, weird. Oh, yeah. That was the craziest. What's Emily saying here? Hi, Tracy. Had some interesting things happen at the house this week. Light's answering me and Steve. It was wild. Said should be acting with them. Light communication.
That's interesting, Emily. Wow. Warren, what's your thoughts on that? Because we'll go back to that story, but I know that in the past, Emily has talked about smelling kind of like smoke, cigar smoke, cigarette smoke. And both of her father and her husband's father were smokers before they passed on. But every once in a while, they can still smell that, feel that. So this kind of question, I think, follows along that same line. So the interesting part is I think she's wondering, like, should she communicate with the light source? Like, if she's asking the questions like yes or no, I mean, I'd be curious, Emily, if the answers were correct when you were asking questions, like, are they the answers that you would expect your loved ones to, respond back to? But we've communicated using light sources many times. I mean, in the Dagon host in Lewisburg, quite accurate, responses to questions. So I would be curious just to talk more about that, Emily? That's actually, it's kind of neat. And if you feel comforted, I mean, oh, she's saying yes. So they were answering the right questions in the right way. So what are your thoughts on that, Warren? Like,
well, it's light communication and interruption of circuitry would be one of the easiest things to do for a being of disembodied entity. So that stands the reason why it works well when we're doing it with the flashlights and stuff like that. I would be, if you were wondering whether they were really of paranormal origin, you'd have to dive deeper and make sure, your answers are really that, not conjurings of your own desires, because that happens sometimes. But I mean, if very likely, like I've seen it, we've done it. It's been real. I've talked to a flashlight before and gotten real answers back. And sometimes it just goes beyond explanation. Now, as for whether you should or not, that's I can't answer that for you. That's up to you. If you want to try to communicate, I mean, different people will tell you different things, but I mean, you'll probably want to come up with some sort of self-protection mantra or self-protection ritual or something that you could do to to kind of ward off anything, like an understanding, a statement. Look, you're not allowed to interact with me, at this, we're just gonna communicate. I mean you no harm. If you mean me no harm, just something, just even if it's for your own benefit to feel calmer,
well, that's right. And the burning of the sage, and there's like the crystals, and then there's the burning of the sweetgrass. There's all kinds of different things that you can do to help too, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. You can, it all depends on the nature of interaction, the nature of the energy, I guess. But again, we can only speculate, we can only speculate on that. But yeah, that's a personal decision on whether you interact or not. If it brings you fear, I don't recommend it, because they say negative energies feed on fear and stuff like that. So that might not be the best way to enter into such communications, But that's why, again, when we're out going, I'm usually, hey, what's up?
Right.
And it keeps me pretty. I don't know, pretty clean so far. When I used to be the guy who would go, yeah, come on, hit me, ghost, push me into the pit of death, do that, then I had issues, I had problems, I had many sleepless nights,
Absolutely. Well, and that's one of the things that, I always felt too, is if something is bringing you comfort, then continue on with it. I know on the Haunted Nova Scotia website, I do admin that, and I see a lot of the posts that come through, and people are talking about light sources, and, you have people saying, well, it's a lens flare, and there's so much bickering back and forth sometimes.
Yeah.
But, I'm always, my personal belief really is, if you see a light source, whether it's a speck of dust or an orb, or if you see something, if that feeling brings you comfort and you truly believe in your heart that it is like the energy from your loved ones, I'd say go with it. If you're
there's plenty.
Right.
There's plenty of stuff that's unexplainable that you might as well. I mean, for me, it relies on whether it's something replicatable, because there are. I see a lot of the posts as well, and there are many of the light orbs you see in pictures that are extremely replicatable. I urge everybody tomorrow, if it's a sunny day, to go take your cell phone camera and point it at the sun. Take a picture, take a few pictures, and once you're done, cut your screen into 4, fold it over and see that the dot orb lands exactly. It's just light diffraction and lens. That is, that's just science. You argue that, you're just out to lunch. That's science. But at the same time, there's been other light. I showed a video last week of a light entity wrapping around Rhonda. That was not a piece of dust. That was not a piece of spit. That was not That was not light diffraction. That was something that had unexplainable, and we have a secondary device on a different platform confirming that with the EMF readings and the the voices going off on the spirit box, stuff like that. It's just like that you can't really explain, but I mean, lens flares and stuff like that. Some of them you can't, but like you said, if it brings you comfort, it's not hurting anyone. Not worth the fight on social media.
No, exactly. No, absolutely. But I'm a very healthy skeptic anyway, so it takes a lot of, proof and documentation to.
Oh yes.
And that is so true. But lots of great things going through the chat here. But did you want to go back to that story? And sorry.
I'm just looking at a couple things here. I just seen somebody ghost hand grab them from under the bed. That's terrifying.
That would be.
But whole house, Emily, whole house, lights blinked 4, got our attention 4 times, then asked questions, blink 1 for yes, not bothered at all. Okay, well, not bothered at all is a nice start.
Oh, wow.
That's good. Yeah.
Oh,
So you're gonna ask me go back to story. What the heck story was it?
Oh,
I got a good memory. It's just short.
Well, that's okay. Oh, the one in Dartmouth.
Oh yes. So this place, when we eventually went over and investigated it, we got lots of interesting stuff. The EMF detectors were just going off like the REM pod. That was one thing. Plus we had a battery drain that night, which was really interesting because I had said, literally, I'm in one room saying, take the power from our stuff, use the batteries. And Earl comes in from the other room, the battery just got drained from a camera. So it's like, wow. So it was a crazy sort of night. Just a lot of that kind of thing, and just weird vibes. And there was one point in the investigation where we're in the room where that bed, where the picture is, we were there, and Darcy and Rhonda and I were in the room, and we were just like a couple of fools. We didn't know what was going on. It was just a bizarre thing. I was rambling on about something. Rhonda was going on about something else, and Darcy was just like talking about something, and it was just this confused, and we're just walking around in circles, like, and then we kind of just snapped out of it. It was a real strange thing. It's on video. It's like, what the heck are we doing? Like, because you see the rest of the video, we're talking to each other normal, and then at this one point, it's just like complete discombobulation. Just like,
absolutely. I did watch that video. That was quite interesting. Is that the one at the very end that you experienced like a really bad headache?
Yes, that was the one. Yeah. There was like something from above, just, and it was just like, it was just brutal. Yeah, we all got poked. We all got Rhonda and I both got tinnitus, which is a high pitched ringing in the ear. I can explain that on me because I play a big loud rock guitar. But I mean, Rhonda and I both had it. It's bizarre.
Oh, wow. And I don't know if that video actually uploaded, because I know there was like a couple of.
Yep, they're uploaded. Which one is that? I could play it for you.
That's the not the Lake Echo, but the other one.
The pins?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Down to 663, 65. So it just hit 66, and then it went back to 63. If you touch that, it'll climb up. That's a big. Are you poking my back right now? Get over here. This is where we caught a picture of you. Every time I walk here, I get a sharp pain and poke. Is that you who's poking me and infecting me in this area? Yeah, didn't I just say that? Yeah. Didn't I say that?
Yeah.
You got me on camera saying the same thing. We both had the same thing there.
Yeah, because I said the bed, it was just like Not like chest pain, but like poking in the heart. Or kind of like,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ,
yeah,
that doesn't
I
feel
had the
good.
same thing right there. Yeah, right?
Yes. Yes,
I know.
another pain. Like,
I know, it's right here. Right
Yeah.
here. There's something right here. Is that you that's poking Darcy, and did you poke me? You got the ringing now. Yeah, okay. See, that's not just me. No, there's ringing. There's... I'm going to turn this camera. That's me doing it. Oh, REM pod's going off.
that spirit box, I have on my phone. I tried it 3 or 4 times, just an hour.
And it worked. Now it's not going to work.
And yeah, it's like
Now it's not going to work. Yeah, there you
Why
go.
does
This entity,
I think there's some malevolence going on here.
yeah, he doesn't want to lose control of this.
I'm going to take this.
He's the one in control right now.
What the hell? What? That was wrong.
The high-pitched screams come out.
I know. I guess running an AM band here because there's not going to be any interference in the AM band, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Cause any grief.
Poked in the back.
Did you? You just got poked, didn't you?
We just want to know who you are, so we can give Emily answers to who you are.
I was like, did the baby's dad die? Like, is he trying to like kill me or something? I didn't know what's going on.
All you have to do is speak, and we can hear you.
Was that you?
Was that you? All you have to do is speak and we can hear you. That was a voice. The only one. We're on AM.
Yeah, and
If you need to use any of the energy from these devices to help give you more power to speak, please feel free. It's yours to take.
I'm gonna get near some one of the devices here. Use one of the devices
REM pod's going nuts in there right now.
yeah.
and say something.
Your way. We'll leave you alone.
Oh,
That was him.
no, that moved.
That moved?
That moved.
Yeah, no, the bed moved.
Oh,
Darcy
okay.
moved the bed.
Okay.
I think he did.
No, that's why I jumped back. Because
Oh,
I saw the
really?
bed moving. I went like that, and I thought it was weird. Because to me, it felt like this on my leg.
That's where everything in here is coming from, the pumping, the. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I have a lot of issues.
Yep,
Yeah,
we're just
with
agreed to
towns.
this.
There we go.
You're attached to that mirror, aren't you?
Did that just go off?
Yep.
Because I walked in the kitchen mirror and was looking in it as that happened.
There's confirmation.
Oh,
Headache?
I just looked up and I saw a light. And then I got a squeeze in my head.
Holy
Yeah.
cow, wow. What an
That was a night.
investigation.
That was a night and a half. I have an audio version as well that's got some extra stuff like EVP stuff, and it's got the part where Earl comes in, talks about his batteries being drained and stuff like that, but and a few other things. But yeah, that was a fun spot. Pretty crazy.
Oh my gosh. And some of the text about the the woman who is going to have the baby, and the word Lazarus, that, holy cow.
Yeah, it kept coming up. Yeah, we have that on it. That's where on the audio one, on all the EVPs and the spirit box stuff, that's where the word kept coming up. Lazarus, just kind of a strange.
Oh, interesting. There seemed to be a lot of activity at that place, and for residential, it kind of it makes me wonder if it was the woman that was drawing that energy, if it was the actual place where she was living. So
Yeah, or a
strange.
storm, combination of the two.
Mhm. Yeah.
Amplification through.
Holy
Holy
macaroni.
macaroni.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Connie had a really good question.
Okay.
And she wasn't sure if you had been asked this before, and I'm just going to paraphrase it because I can't see it. But she was just wondering, oh, here we go. Do you have protection just in case, anyone or something like has, attached or attacked?
Yeah. Usually, before I go on an investigation myself, I usually do my own protection sort of ritual that was given to me by a friend of mine who's very well versed in personal energy, and so I have sort of a zip up routine or whatever, and it's just a personal belief, prayer, or personal protection. And then, when I'm leaving an investigation, I always say, you're not allowed to follow. I do a closing, not just a closing of a Ouija board, but a closing of an investigation. And so you can't follow me home, what have you. And then, I always have sage and, white sage and stuff like that. I've, it's all symbolism, I believe, for bringing your own desires to be clean into existing, I guess. But I don't want, it helps protect me. It makes me feel protected. So I do have I have the smudging and what have you, and that's
they're
about
all
it though.
Yeah, they're all tools, right?
Tools to do the same thing.
Strength to protect yourself. So
exactly. Yeah, you just put it way better than I did. That's exactly it. Totally, deal. And so there is that. I have had experiences with attachments. Yes, I had some events that would sound pretty far out to most people, like pretty crazy stuff. Attachments removed by my energy friend, and pretty wild.
Did you want to share one of those stories?
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Let's go on then. All right. Okay.
Yeah, you can't leave us hanging on something like that.
Okay. Dead Man's Island. Then this place is dank, and there's bodies buried all over it, and there's this pit. And I that was back when I was using provocation and other techniques that I don't use now. And so, I was laying in this pit for a half hour with the spirit box on my chest and just like in the middle of the night and just doing stuff. And that place, I started after the first time there, like some pretty crazy stuff. That's where I got my first EVP. And every time I went back for quite a while, stuff happened. But then I started going back a lot because I kept being compelled to go back there. I just kept wanting to be there all the time. And that was getting really freaky to me. And I go out of my way to just go there. And so that's kind of crazy. So, and eventually I went in to, have some energy work done and I was having some pains, but basically, it's hard to describe. It's going to sound like I'm out to lunch, but she symbolically removed a piece of steel from my side, and in the process of it happening, this cloud kind of came out and was on the floor and went out under the door. We both sort of saw it in our mind's eye, imagination, whatever, but it really happened, and it was bizarre. But and then I no longer really felt the desire to want to go back there. I wasn't as compelled. I have gone back to take somebody on a ghost hunt once. And, it was quiet as all could be. But since I had been there the first round of times, there had been a ceremony performed to honor the dead that are there. So I think it probably quieted the area down because it was a popular spot, very, very active. I've got lots of video for that place too, some wild stuff.
Oh, that I've heard very interesting stories from that place, and
Yeah.
your videos, I think would be spectacular at some point to come back and definitely watch those because it's very historic, that place. Oh, are you reading Vagrancy Horror?
No, man, maybe my Android has a beef with your Apple. Why can't we all just get along on an Android phone looking at an Apple right there?
Oh no, because I was just reading something that the Vagrancy Horror has said about when he was young, he went to a psychic at the yearly fair, but she got freaked out and said she couldn't give me a reading because there was something watching over me.
Yeah, probably had something attached.
Yeah, it's interesting what kind of energy can be, picked up by, people that are a little more sensitive. So yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's so many great stories. I'm trying to catch all these comments. It's
I know they're flying in.
So yeah, that story, I kind of wish, that the clients would actually kind of reach back out and, provide some kind of an update as to
sometimes they do, and sometimes they do, and sometimes we go to places and there's nothing because there's nothing going on there. That happens too. Not every place we go is haunted.
No, that's right. So one place, in particular that has a lot of interesting, but there's not a lot of things like, so Catherine's Grave here in Thorburn, Nova Scotia.
Yes.
There's lots of theories, there's lots of urban legends. There's, there's so much different information, but, nothing that we can really, pinpoint that, yes, this is how she passed on. Like there's nothing like that, but we've both been to that particular spot on different occasions.
Yes.
I've chatted a little bit about my experiences there, and I'm wondering if you would like to share some of your experiences.
Absolutely.
Because it's
before I do, I see so many black roses. Says there's
no.
Oh, I just see somebody says thank you for coming back. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. So it's an interesting place. It's the thought of it itself, just lends itself to all kinds of romanticism, a story, imagination, a lone grave in the middle of the woods on basically a path for a 9-year-old girl. It's one of the first things that come up when you type in, haunted places in Nova Scotia. Really, it comes up a lot. It's very, very popular. I kind of like that it's hard to find. I wish it were a little harder to find because recently there was an incident there. Somebody had vandalized it, but then some others had fixed it. So it's been kind of restored, but that kind of stuff's unacceptable. You always be respectful when you visit. But this has stories there. Again, you can read all kinds of stuff online. There's speculations about why the grave is there, that it was possibly in another graveyard, but then moved there to be closer to the house for the ailing mother to visit the daughter. And there's there's a whole bunch of stories. You can dive in deep. Nobody really knows for sure. Well, maybe somebody knows for sure, but not on the internet anyway.
No, that's right.
And so you basically, it's in Thorburn, and the most common claims, I suppose, at this place is that some people see little kids' handprints on the dirt in their car. You can feel little tugs and stuff, hear a little bit of laughters and stuff like that. There's of course, the whole leave a toy or you'll be cursed, which is ridiculous, but and actually kind of littering, really. But it's in the middle of the woods. But people do leave a little toy. I'd be lying if I didn't say I left a little tiny thing, but I made it small. But it really is. Sometimes they do actually send someone out. Somebody goes out and kind of picks it up every once in a while because it just gets out of hand. just
Absolutely.
filthy. But anyway, it's a neat place now. When I was actually playing a gig in the area, and at the time, oh yes, he has, yes indeed, he has the video. So yeah, we have a video of when Ron and I visited. I was playing a gig at the time there, and I was like, well, I'm here anyway, so I made sure I brought a little bit of gear. I didn't have a lot of stuff to bring. I brought my K2 meter, and that I'm really glad I did, because let's just say I was getting some pretty serious action on my K2 meter in the middle of the woods on a stone, on a gravestone. It's in the middle of the woods. Like, there's nothing there. Like, you're in the woods.
There's
and
not,
so,
there's no
no, you're in the bush.
whatsoever.
Like, you're, it's there. So, like, I mean, I had no idea why the heck I was getting, and it wasn't like cell phone texting. First off, you always turn your stuff into non-transmit, like airplane modes and what have you. But even still, that has a certain signature that's visible on the K2. It's a very quick thing that
right.
No, this was hanging up there. I'm like, talk to us, Catherine, and it's just right up. It's wicked. So it's on the video.
Yeah.
Just check it
So
out if Dino wants to run it.
Let's see.
One of the first places to show up on a search for haunted locations in Nova Scotia is the grave in Thorburn of 8-year-old Catherine McIntosh, who died in 1889. It is a lone grave a few kilometers down the narrow dirt Greenvale Road. There is fragmented information online on why exactly the grave is located where it is. We were in the area and decided to check it out. We didn't experience any of the usual claims, but we did get some very strong EMF activity on our K2 meter. Can you touch this box, Catherine? Good. Oh, look at you. Way to go, Catherine. Look, we can see you. Way to go, love. If you speak to us, you will be able to, wow, look at all the energy. Yeah, you speaking to us, we'll be able to pick this up on our recorder. Wow, Catherine, good job. That's really good. You playing with your toys, are you? Wow. So we are at the site of Catherine McIntosh, and currently the K2 meter is going off the hook because we think we have a little visitor. There's no explanation for this. The flies were so bad that day, we didn't stay very long. We will be going back with some more of our equipment to check it out at a later time.
Pretty wild, eh?
Oh wow!
It was like, you've seen K2s go, and when I'm starting to ask her to talk, it starts pushing up to the 20 plus milligauss, readings. That's pretty impressive,
Oh, it is too. Considering it truly is in the middle of the woods. I never got any cell phone reception. I couldn't get
there's
my
nothing.
GPS,
No,
like nothing. So
there's nothing there.
No, and to get that level of energy on your EMF, I don't even know where it would come from. Like, have no idea.
No.
But yeah, you're right. In the middle of the woods at that time of year, the flies were horrific. Absolutely.
Oh, it was just ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Thanks, Roger.
Yeah.
And it was that was the flies were bad. We're gonna go back, and I haven't been in the area since, but one of these days I'll probably go back. I mean, at this point, I don't know what else I would investigate there. Yeah, next summer, I guess.
Well, absolutely, because like we've been there. Like the group has investigated a few of us, and we had a very scary kind of like demonic voice pull through on the spirit box, and we've actually had a toy that was placed on the headstone. It just kind of like flew right off at Darcy, and we have that on video. And it was a really insane place, to be honest. It's weird energy. Like at some point, like for me, it was very calming and very peaceful, but it would turn on a dime, if that makes sense. And
yeah.
it's so strange. And I know Laura and I, we were there at the same time, and we were just running the investigation. And, you know, we looked in the same direction at the exact same time because we just felt like there was something there. And,
Yes.
you know, it was like within moments did that voice come through on the spirit box. And, you know, I still get chills thinking about it. It's just, and it wasn't the voice of Catherine, because it was not a little girl. It was like a very growly, scary voice. It was strange. So yeah.
It's a neat spot. It's another spot that's famous that we were talking about earlier on was the clown grave site.
That's right.
Twitter, the clown.
Twitter the clown and Picto.
Twitter the clown. Yeah. I visited there. I've got pictures that I took of the grave. That's got a lot of stories behind it. I think partially it's just creepy because, you know, who puts a clown on their headstone? You know, it's just like just creepy. It looks creepy. But at the same time, I actually, when I was at that particular gravesite, I felt completely calm there. I didn't find anything strange at that particular grave. However, had stuff go on. I was walking around. The graveyard itself is in the back area of the cemetery. That area there is dang. Something's dark there. I don't like it. I went there. I had the battery drain out of my EVP recorder on me there. It just didn't. Stuff was going wacky at the back of the cemetery. Once I hit the clown grave, it was just actually more like a okay, calm or whatever. But even though it looks weird.
It does, because for anybody who doesn't know, you could do like a little Google search for Twitter's grave in Pictou, Nova Scotia. It's actually it's a glass encasement with an actual, I don't know if it's made of porcelain or what it
looks like kind of paper mache or something.
Yeah. And it's a clown, and people say that you can, you know, the head actually moves at certain times if you're watching it long enough. I've been there. I've never gotten any evidence. I've never witnessed anything. I've never felt anything weird or cold or anything. But I've read stories where people have seen it. And ironically, I went to check it out there not that long ago. Oh, thank you, Horror Junkie. Oh, you're never late. You can. We're always here. So that was very kind of you. But absolutely, like it's empty. So the box is there now, but the clown inside is gone. So I don't know what it's gone. Like it was like this sealed box. The clown was like gone. Inside. The clown is gone. It's not there anymore, and I have no idea what happened to it or how they got it out. It's just.
I hope
gone.
It wasn't stolen. I would like to think that maybe it was being restored. It was in pretty hard shape when I saw it, but I think that's why the box was built in the first place. Wow, that'd be worth looking into.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to do some research. And the next time I go back that way, I'm gonna drive through the cemetery and just take a peek, because it's gone. I would love to see it come back though, just because it's cool history.
Yeah, no clown should be ever destroyed. I'm working on a clown graveyard, but it's going to have a glass case over the top of it. Anyways, I love clowns.
I don't like clowns. I
don't mind them at all. But they're creepy. I get the creepiness, but they don't creep me out enough to.
Oh no! Oh wow! So you also we can chat about the Lake Echo investigation.
Yeah. Let's chat about that for a few moments. We got time for that. Yeah, that was an interesting one. The resident, that one had some sad vibe to it. Sad vibe. we were asked to come to check out the residents basically because they were experiencing a lot of emotional sadness there, hearing things, having stuff just move, like broom just falls on its own all the time, kind of thing, just little stuff like that. And so the resident blamed it on two things, or figured it might have been cause of two things. One, there was a toy car that she had that was found that was kind of just really weirded her out, and just did a bunch of stuff. Which funny, when she was looking for that particular car when we were there to show us, there was nowhere to be found. We were about half hour away and we got a call. It was sitting on the kitchen table.
On the kitchen table.
Yeah,
Lord.
right in front of all of us, and none of us saw it or could find it or whatever. But anyway, that was one thing. But the real sad part of it all, and there were, other claims too, like the electronics in the shed going off on their own. We saw it. The radio was malfunctioning left and right, But yeah, a prior resident had sadly ended their own life in the master bedroom from the chandelier above the bed. So made for some pretty horrific sleeps, so we just wanted to know whether this stuff was malicious, had bad intent or not, and it seems to me that the best deduction I could get was that perhaps the car toy did have some kind of male energy attached to it and was malevolent of some sort, but the energy from the previous tenant was female, and it was very, very apologetic. Said, I'm sorry, oh my God, do you mean any harm? No, like in a real that sort of way. And it's one of the few investigations that I when I reflect on it, it's less of a sense of, oh, that was super freaky and wild, and it was just kind of that was sad.
Wow.
Client no longer lives there that we saw. It's long, but yeah, it was kind of a sad place. It was just like I could totally not want to live there.
Gosh, but you got like evidence and readings and stuff.
Oh yeah, well we have a little video there that actually doesn't have any video footage, but it's audio recordings. It's the audio of the EVP. It's if Dino's able to work his magic, if he's got it. We should probably try a spirit box as well, but that's. Hi. That's pretty strong hi.
Can you tell me your name, please?
What was that? That wasn't normal interference. That sounded like, oh God.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that wasn't.
I said I'm sorry.
Yeah, it did. We'd really like to know your name.
Yep, your name.
Is your name Donna? You don't want to frighten anyone here, do you? Are your intentions good or bad? Good. Did you hear that? That's reassuring. Yeah, that was very clear. Thank you. Thank you for that answer.
I don't mind her, but wherever you are, you've got to go.
Yes. So if Donna is here, the male voice comes in. Donna, think. Like what? Like we were just sitting there. Female voice talking to us, refers to herself as Donna. Then at the end, a male voice goes, Donna, think.
That's kind of scary.
I got goosebumps again, and I was there.
Me too.
Yeah, like it's just wild. So you could hear the apologetic sound in her voice, like the pain. You could absolutely hear it in the no and all that. But then at the end, when they're talking about that, and we're, you know, female voice the whole time talking to Donna, then we start talking about the car and the male voice. And what does the male voice say? Donna. You know, like, come on.
Oh, so weird. Like you could sense that it was like, you could feel that was completely different. Like it was different, kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, where the female voice was apologetic, the male voice was kind of
dominant,
you know, dominating and very kind of like authoritative, right?
Yeah, very much. You keep your mouth shut kind of thing. Like, yeah. Warren, would you and your group go to or has been to places where dolls or toys like Annabelle or Robbie or other things like, oh yeah, no, I'll answer that. Yeah, I'll go. I'm afraid no ghosts.
I would go too. Oh my gosh. I think the whole team would be right on top of that.
Yeah, no, I'd go for it. It's all about respecting the scenario and the energy.
No, absolutely. So you never heard back anything from that last investigation. When was that? Was that back in 2017 as well?
Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, we used to do a lot more. There was much going on in the last few years because of, well, not much going on anywhere.
No, that's right. I know. I was hoping that, you know, the group would be able to get together. Just because we're getting so close to Halloween, I haven't heard of any upcoming investigations or
not yet, but I'm looking forward to the next one. Yeah, for sure.
Me too. I don't know if Earl is going to be doing anything. I know that they kind of talked about it, but I'm not sure. But it would be exciting, like even to go back to the Truro Museum, I think would be spectacular. Or you know, the weather is still really very cooperative to go back and even do a group investigation just back in, you know, where those trees were, like that dark forest. Go back to that again.
Yeah. Sure. I'll go back. I'll go. Yeah, no, I'll go. Oh, that's good. I'm with you.
That would be cool. But oh my gosh, yeah. No, there's like, I'm still like reading some of these comments, these, you know, so thank you everybody for, you know, showing up.
Oh, I know. What a wild bunch. It's great. Lots of comments and
absolutely. So did you have any other stories that you wanted to share that
I've got enough stories that we can talk about this a lot of times.
I know,
one of the
right?
things that I was that you know, maybe if we do it another time we might talk about is one of the things I kind of specialize in is a lot of the gear, the technology, and that stuff. And I have some example footage and all that stuff to demonstrate what each of the pieces does and a brief overview of the concept of why they're supposed to work, you know, like a K2 meter. Okay, it's a thing that finds ghosts. Says who? Says who? Like, I mean, what does that mean? How does that work? How do you find a ghost with that? Like, I mean, so you gotta, you know, there's it's nice to have a sense of what these devices actually do and what you're trying to measure for and look for. It certainly helps hone your accuracy. And plus, you know, we see all the people on the television shows doing their investigations with their gear and wonder what it is. They're always talking about the spirit box and, you know, like it's some big crazy thing. Really, a spirit box is just a cheap little radio. You know, but it's a broken radio, basically.
So yeah, like I don't know if you would be okay to answer this, but what are your feelings towards like some of those TV shows? I won't name the names of some of the TV shows, but you know the ones I'm talking about. Like as far as accuracy goes, and definitely Connie. Yes, Warren will be back.
I will.
But as far as like accuracy or you know, do they just like hype things up? Like, what is your thoughts?
Well, television is television. It's always going to be television. It's enhanced. I mean, there's a couple shows that I think are probably legit. I think a real true ghost investigation show is probably too boring to have on television. Serious. Well, you know what I mean. Like if you're there, there's so much quiet. Don't do anything and wait, and then you figure out what happened when you check the footage later. You know, so it's it's not very exciting. You know, it's good. It's entertaining, and it gets people interested in the hobby. And they use a lot of stuff, and I think they capture a lot of evidence, and it sure is fun. Reactions are, they can be sometimes staged. Because it makes good television. There's a couple shows in particular that the hosts go a little bit over the top and then follow it up with some really weak science. I'm no scientist. I'm no certified scientist myself, but I do know enough to know some really weak science. And there was a lot of that going on. And, but I mean, they are built for entertainment. There's been a couple good ones that I enjoyed watching in the past, but I kind of don't really watch them much anymore. Once you've been out for real, and that kind of lets you know which ones are the good ones too. But they're
absolutely, yeah. Because I mean, I know too, just from like the investigations that we've been on. I mean, you can go on an investigation for several hours and you won't hear anything, you won't see anything.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, RTN. But absolutely, like you could be there, and you just like you said, like you won't hear anything.
When we did Keith's investigation, remember, it was like 3 hours of absolutely nothing, then to be rewarded with the most intense, robust evidence we've ever had all at once. So I mean, that happens. You can wait around for I mean.
Yeah, no, and absolutely.
You never guarantee.
Speaking of the brewery, I did post that link below our last video, Warren.
Okay, cool.
From CTV News. So yeah, if anybody's interested, go back to the other, video that we did and check that out. That's pretty fun too. And I mean, there's like another place. There's like the Five Fishermen's as well. I've not had the pleasure of going there for an investigation, but have you?
I have. I've been at the Five Fishermen, but not for an investigation. I went for. It was just prior to me joining the group with Earl, and I was looking desperately for places to investigate. So we booked a dinner there just to go and kind of like look at my K2 meter in my jacket every once in a while and kind of things. And it had some freaky It definitely, the place is active. You can, if you claim to feel stuff, you can certainly feel the vibe there.
That's right.
But I didn't get to spend any after hours time there like we did at Keith's or Rest Urban and
that's another one. The Resto Urban. That place. I was only privileged to go there for one investigation, and you and Rhonda were there at the same time, and it was wow. Like down in the basement area, there was Yeah, it was pretty dark and pretty different. I'll just say that much. But
different's a good word.
Different is a very good word. But again, I think there's energy attached to pretty much anything, and you have the good, you have the bad, and it's just what you do with it too, I guess. But absolutely.
Right. Yes.
So Warren, you have a website. You have your music group. Did you want to maybe chat about that and let everybody know kind of some of the things that you are up to before we end the show? Because we're coming up to the
up to our spot. Yes. Right. I'm on top of all this, I'm a musician. That's what I do for a living. I teach music and I compose music for film and television. I've got a lot of music on TV and film, and I tour and I play in a couple different groups. Play with Lisa Richard, doing country stuff, and I play in a big loud hard rock duo with my buddy Greg Sinclair, and we play sort of progressive metal and yeah, I just love music. Just love music. And so
Awesome.
yeah, Warren Sin is the name of our group on Facebook for the band. War being me, Warren, and Sin being Sinclair, Greg, his name.
Right.
It's really not that clever. It's just our names. But yeah, and I had a paranormal website now since we've been doing these, I'm going to have to resurrect it. I had just sort of temporarily pulled it down because it desperately needed an overhaul. I sort of let it fall during the time of the time of COVID. I kind of left it go. So then I just took it down, but I'll put it back up because there was a lot of information there about the technology and gear and stuff like that. So, Warren, do you play the zither? I do not play the zither. Although I wish I did. It's quite an instrument. Do you play the zither? It's a good instrument.
Oh goodness. Oh, that's a question for Dino Overkill. A paranormal board on the Discord group. Maybe. I don't know. Dino can answer that. Dino's probably ready to come back on here because he's going to tell us about what's coming up.
Yeah. Well, are we done with Warren? Warren, I mean, that was an awesome show again, as usual, man.
That was fun. I look forward to doing another one. I got lots of more adventures to talk about and a lot of equipment to explain if you want that too. So anytime. Love it.
Absolutely.
I think it's up to you, Tracy, but I think hitting the clips and the videos that you do, like hitting it hard, the tech gear and everything involved with that would kind of make for an interesting show next time.
Oh,
yes. I'm with you. We'll make it happen.
Oh, sweet. Because thank you so much for coming on, Warren. Like, I'm telling you, after our first show together, everybody was pretty hopping and they were, wondering when you were coming back. So I'm so glad that you were able to join us tonight. And,
I appreciate
everybody in
that.
chat has been so wonderful. The questions, the comments, and, the evidence that you brought with you tonight, the photos and the videos and EVP, like, again, super cool. It makes me miss investigations. And
I know.
I go back out again, like now that,
Oh, no, I'm cracking. Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
Thank you, everybody. I'm seeing all these lovely comments of thank you, and I really appreciate it, everybody. I truly do.
Yeah, everybody they loved last time when you came on. So having you on again is great, and to have you come on and do something different will be awesome too.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Done deal.
Thank you so
very
much.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'll message you after the show, and we'll definitely set up a time for another one, hopefully soon.
That works. Okay. Sounds
good, Warren. You take care.
Have a great night, all.
Take care of that doll, right?
Yes. Put it in the corner.
Oh, here, just for the one. He'll say goodbye.
Okay, peace, buddy. You take care, Warren.
Later.
I didn't know whether to plug my ears or close my eyes. I couldn't do both at the same time.
I don't know why people are so scared of duck clowns. I get it. They've been portrayed in so many horror movies as being creepy and spooky and scary. But when you get down to it, come on. They're fun, lovable clown, right, RTN, right, Dennis? Come on.
Gosh, no, listen, when I was younger, my grandmother had a really creepy picture of a clown down in her basement in the little family room. And, I would look up when I was like 7 years old and I would just be like cowering because it was like the scariest thing. But that's just my experience with clowns. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I see Warren. We could still see him on the side. Hi, you take care, buddy. It was nice seeing you again, bud. Listen, it's been a good show again. Some creepy pictures, they get to you, but it's a tough field. It's a tough field when it comes to evidence of pictures and videos and stuff like that. So for it to come directly from somebody that we know or it kind of lends a little bit of credence to if it's real or not.
That's it, right?
So and Trogdor, I tell you, yeah, email me. It sounds like there's, and again, this is a safe place to talk about all your experiences and stuff like that. Any paranormal stream, the chat can go that way, and that's what it's all about, discussing your experiences, what you've been through. It seems that you've also dealt with some issues when it comes to that. You said you've had treatment. You posted in chat, so that's why I'm saying it. I would never bring up something that you wouldn't want to talk about, but that's kind of why I want to get you on the show one way or the other, even if it's just a phone call and talking to you through audio, because yeah, there's some interesting things and some questions I have for you. Okay, that's all I'll say with that. But again, much love to each and every one of you. And what do I have coming up tonight, Tracy? Overnight tonight, what do we have?
You have a surprise, and
Yes.
it's a detective mixed bag surprise.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag surprise of detective shows and crime shows. So again, and people are wondering, I got a message today, where are the timestamps? Where's the timestamps? Listen, I think I get a little bit of enjoyment myself out of putting a playlist together and just playing it without you knowing what they are. It's kind of like the old radio, you know an episode's coming up, but you don't know what episode's coming up or what's going to be played next. So I think there's an element of surprise when it comes to these mixed. But listen, it says detective and crime. I'll give it away. The first episode's of Pat Novak. Okay,
so you weren't supposed to give that away.
I know,
surprise.
But I did. It's for a reason. I mean, just to get the surprise. What's next? What's coming up? You wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and you hear Dragnet's on. You're like, oh God, okay. So that's the fun of it all. You know what I mean? So I've pretty much got all the shows timestamped, like for CBS Radio Mystery, so you can go back and check for episodes that are timestamped and other streams. So I'm having a little bit of fun at it right now with the surprise mixed bags and stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy some of that. And what else do we got going tomorrow? There will be nothing because we need a night off. I think we've been going every day here.
You got the overnight stream. You still got that going on.
Oh yeah, no, the overnight stream, of course. And tomorrow will be spooky. Listen, the past 3 days, you can't do spooky every night. You can, but
change it up.
Yeah, people want Johnny Dollar sometimes. Maybe every other day they want Johnny Dollar. I don't know, but So we got that, and then on Wednesday we're going to have Body Double, another Brian De Palma film with me and Ginger. Listen, I went off the rails. I'm being a little goofy on these discussions. I'll try to hone it in a little bit and be a little bit more serious. So that'll be there. Anyways, and then what do we got? Oh, I just put the movie poll up, Tracy, for the movie nights on Patreon. If you're a channel member or a Patreon member, movie night just went up. So there's a poll of 4 movies, and oh boy, it's Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is blowing them all out of the water so far. So yes, who I thought was going to win.
Who else do you got there? Who else do you got? You got Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Well, you know what? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the 1934 one with Frederick March. I mean, that's probably I still love Abbott and Costello, but just for fun and warmth and just that feeling it gives me. But the Dr. Jekyll, that version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with Frederick March is just one of the best horror films of all time, the classic black and whites. And people need to see that if they haven't seen it. If it doesn't, I don't think it's going to win this week, but because Halloween. I think I
Yes.
may just go ahead and play that next week. No poll. I'm going to play that. If it doesn't win
Okay.
this week, I'm going to play it.
Nice.
So there you go, because everybody needs to see that movie, right, RTN? Yes, because Dennis, yeah, he brings that up quite a bit. He loves that. It's a fantastic movie.
Oh,
But anyways, yeah, there you go. That's business as
yeah.
usual here.
You got your Thursday paranormal
Yes,
show.
Thursday paranormal show will be. Let me go back and check this because I'm going to wreck it. Right? Where's Edward? He's not here. But I got Heidi Frankham.
Okay.
She's another paranormal investigator, and she's going to have plenty of stories to talk about, just like Crystal Blevins, who I had on. Again, I pick people who, have stories to tell. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Have been through the investigations, and it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
But thank you, Horror Junkie, for the super chat
Mhm.
tonight. And any last words, Tracy, before we head out and get ready for the overnight stream tonight?
Well, I just want to remind everybody to make sure you give the thumbs up. I want you to share the stream because we definitely want Warren to come back. So show him the love, leave some comments here.
Yes.
And if you just check all of the links below, you're going to see Patreon, you're going to see join the channel, and you're also going to see the link to Dino's other channel, Dino's Duck Soup. So if you're not already subbed to that channel, get your little butts on over there and click join. Do it.
Yeah, somebody was asking, so I guess I might as well say that the other channel, Dino's Duck Soup, which has been kind of quiet for a long time now because I've been dealing with a lot and this and that, but it's the place where I put the comedy shows, the romance, the out of the norm for this channel. They all go over there, but it's a majority of comedy. The Great Gildersleeve, Fibber McGee and Molly, Fred Allen, you name it. It's Penny Singleton's show, My Favorite Husband. So check out Dino's Duck Soup. Tracy has been being a little creative here, and she's been putting up some. I put up her first video, history of advertisements in radio back in the day, and it was very well done. So good job, Tracy.
It was supposed to be anonymous, but okay.
No, you don't need to be somebody's asking. Somebody recognized your voice, and then somebody said, "Who is that?" I mean, I can't lie. I got to say, "Hey, it's Tracy." But anyways, cat's out of the bag. Anyways,
another fun channel though. Lots of great content, and I personally enjoy the comedy on over there. So
well, we'll be getting the history of Great Gildersleeve up there. So that's coming
sweet.
Next, probably tomorrow or the next. So anyways, Dino, is there a way for me to give you my email, phone number privately, since my emails aren't getting through? Trogdor, message me either on Patreon. I think you're on Patreon. You can message me there. Message me on Discord if you're on there. On Twitter, you can message me. On Instagram, you can message me. There are many different ways you can message me. So yeah, any of those. I will check the email again, but I don't think I got the last one. So just try. With that said, you guys, peace and love as always. And Tracy, you get the last word.
Take care and be well. See ya.